Hi everybody, welcome to another YDF live show. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about webinars. And webinars is a bit like kind of Facebook Live. We spoke about Facebook Live last week. So yeah, webinars are a bit like kind of doing a Facebook Live, except it's much longer. And me and Maria Flynn, who's a kind of operations manager for YDF as well, we tried webinars back in June and July. Okay, and it's kind of hard getting a webinar set up, but once you get it set up, once you get everything in place, it shouldn't be that difficult, to be honest. So I'm getting back into webinars. We're going to be doing one at the end of the month, and I'd love to do that once a week. And here's the reason why. When we first done the webinars back in June and July, I was getting about a 2 to 3% conversion rate, which is not brilliant. Really, on a webinar, you're looking to convert at about between 8 and 12%. And I thought, okay, 2 to 3%, it's not really worth my time doing it. But then I got to thinking that is crazy mental when I think about it. Okay, so if we look at the numbers just now, so say I have 100 people on a webinar, and that was typical of the number of people that showed up. So I might get 300 registrations and 100 people would actually turn up for the live webinar. And say I'm getting 3% conversion rate, which is quite low. That means 3 people are buying a $600 product, which is $1,800 for 2 hours. So I was thinking, oh, that's not that good. I'm going to stop doing the webinars and I'll focus on something else. And then when I thought about it, I thought that is mental. That is just crazy. You need to be doing the webinars. If I was getting $1,800 every single week, I think I'd be more than happy with that. So I shouldn't be focusing on kind of the $1,800. What I should have been focusing on, tweaking the webinar to make it better and asking what people would want in the webinar as well, so I could get that conversion up to even 6%. So if 6% converted on the webinar from 100 people, that would be $3,600 for a conversion rate and for obviously the monetary value as well. But that's for 100 people. Imagine if I kind of tweak my thinking, which I have done now, and thought, okay, it's not about kind of the conversions per se. If we get a good conversion rate, say we got up to 6%, then what we need to think about is, okay, how can we drive directed traffic or the audience, the right audience to that kind of webinar to get maybe 1,000 people registering, and out of 1,000 people that would register, only about 300 people would turn up. Now, if 300 people turned up and you get a 6% conversion rate, that immediately turns that kind of webinar into a $10,000 webinar, which is a huge difference. But you're only tweaking it and getting from 3% to a 6% conversion rate. Now, I know this is kind of advanced stuff. If you've not done a webinar before, you've not even heard of a webinar, this is kind of advanced stuff. But I'm just kind of telling you what I'm going to be doing in my business. Just to let you think about webinars and kind of what they are and what they can do for your business. Even if you've got a service related business, if you're a coach, for example, webinars would be fantastic for you. If you've got a product, webinars are fantastic. If you've got anything that you can offer, a product, a service, or anything like that, webinars are a fantastic way to grow your business. And quite frankly, if that's all you done for your business, if all you did was webinars once every single week, then your business transforms beyond measure. And what you've got to do is get a webinar kind of down pat, just so you're getting that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6% or 10% conversion rate. Once you tweak it and once you do it often enough, then you could go for that conversion rate and really, really, truly transform your business. So that was my thinking back in June. I thought, 2 or 3% is not that good. Is it worth my while? And I thought, $1,800 a week, that's like nearly $100,000 extra a year into my business. Why wouldn't I put the effort in for maybe 4 or 5 hours a week? That's for preparation time and all that as well. 4 or 5 hours a week for $100,000 a year. And I'm saying, no, it's not good enough, which is mental. It's crazy on my part to even think like that. As a businessman, I shouldn't have even kind of questioned that. I should have went along with it, kept on doing the webinars. But the truth is, webinars wants to get your webinar prepared together. So I've got a webinar prepared and it's 130 slides. Now you've really got to think about the psychology of webinars and what you're doing and what people want and what your readers want. And you've got to think about the psychology, how you're going to deliver it, getting all that prepared as well. And that might take a couple of weeks work to get the whole thing together and ready. It's taken me about 3 or 4 weeks to do all that. But once that's up and running, it's then only a matter of tweaking it. Tweaking the webinar itself and tweaking the slides and tweaking the information and doing a few things differently to tweak it to get the best conversion rate and to give the best information that your readers want or your webinar registrations kind of have signed up to. And when you do that, that's when it can really, truly transform your business. I'm just going to see if we've got any questions at the moment. I think I said to Maria to kind of send me the questions via Facebook. I don't know if we've got any just now. Right, I'll just take a question just now. Lorraine Cavici-Blut, sounds brilliant, Steve. How long does it take to make a webinar? Is it a PowerPoint? You can do a PowerPoint or you can do it on Keynote if you've got a Mac as well. So I've got a Mac, so I'll do it on a Keynote, but I also do it in Google Docs, and that's PowerPoint as well. So Google Docs is great for getting it all together, and then if you want to transfer it to Keynote or you just want to keep on Google Docs, that's fantastic as well. How long does it take? It really, to make the webinar slides, it can take a long time, Lorraine. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to take a long time, but it can take a couple of weeks just to get it right. So you want to get it, nothing's perfect. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. If it was perfect, I would get 100% conversion rate. It's never going to be perfect, but get it as good as possible. Make sure it flows, make sure you've got the questions in there, make sure you've got interaction in there, and make sure you're hitting a few key points as well, and you're getting the balance between giving out great information, actionable information that your readers or your viewers can use, but not give them the whole thing. And I think a lot of people go wrong with that. If you give away the whole kind of thing, give away almost your product with all the information that you give, nobody's going to buy from you as well. So you've got to get that balance as well. So it can take a few weeks, Lorraine, to get the webinar put together. But once you've done it, and then it's just a matter of tweaking it and then going live every week with it. And there's kind of lots of software out there what you can use to actually go live and get people registered and things like that. So it can take a few weeks to prepare, but is it worth it for maybe an extra, even if you're only getting an extra $20,000 a year, and just say you're not making anything just now, and you're making, say, an extra $400 a week just now, would that be worth it? Of course it would. Of course it definitely would, to do a webinar and to go to all that kind of effort at the beginning stages to start preparing for the webinar as well. So I hope that helps, Lorraine. We've got another couple of questions in here. Thanks for that, Maria. What are your thoughts? Right, again from Lorraine Cavici-Blut. What are your thoughts on balance? You have to balance yourself. Your energy is so important. That's a big $1 million question, Lorraine, and this is something I've been kind of struggling with. When you're growing a business, when you're an entrepreneur and you're growing a business, kind of all you think about is your business. It kind of overtakes your life. And I have to admit, only over the last week or so, I've had to take a little bit of a step back and say, okay, the business is not I've got my family, and my family is the most important people in my life. So what I've done is, what I was doing, I was getting up at 5 o'clock every morning, starting work, doing all the work, doing kind of the Facebook stuff and kind of doing the live shows, doing coaching calls, doing all that. And I would work up until 9 o'clock in the evening. 5 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock in the evening. Now, that's kind of meant that's 16 hours a day, which is, and I was doing that at the weekends as well, although the weekends I would only work from 5 o'clock in the morning till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which is still a long time. It's still 7 hours, so it's about 90 hours a week I was working. I thought, that's mental. That's mental. We can't do that. We need a work-life balance. Or I need a work-life balance. but it can overtake your kind of thoughts. It can consume you as well. And I had to take a step back because it could ruin relationships. It could ruin relationships with my sons, with my kind of wife, my family as well, my mum and dad. I kind of don't speak to them as often as I should. I don't see them as often as I should. So I had to take a step back and say, okay, I'm going to finish no later than 7 o'clock, earlier if possible, but no later than 7 o'clock every night. And that's me cutting back. And I'll just work up until 12 o'clock in the afternoon, because most of my family is just getting up around 10 o'clock, 10:30 or something, and just to focus more on my family. So work-life balance is extremely important, Lorraine. I know that's not about webinars, but it's a good point that you made. From Shelley Sweeney, I'm curious about ebooks. What are ebooks? Shelley, ebooks are simply, just imagine you've got a Word document and you write, all writers, if you're an author and you're writing a book or something, you write on a Word document. So once the Word document is finished, they then turn it into a PDF, and that's essentially what an ebook is. It's just a PDF file, and that's really all an ebook is. So when you're writing an ebook, obviously it's not as long as a book, which can be around, the average is 120,000 words. An ebook, you can put in about 20,000 kind of words with great information, kind of images and downloads. You can have downloads in there as well, and sell it for $37, $47, $97, as long as it's great information and the readers kind of want to know the information that you're selling. So essentially an ebook is just a Word document or a kind of Pages document if you're on a Mac, turned into a PDF file. That is it. There's obviously a few essential elements to create a great ebook. A great ebook cover, for example. You need great content. You need to kind of think about the content that goes into it. It's not just bam, 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 here you go, this is what you need to learn about this, and that's it. You need to think strategically about when you're writing an ebook. You need kind of higher concepts in there before you even go on to any lessons. And people need to know the why as well. It depends on what you're writing about. So there's kind of lots to think about for an ebook, but you could create an ebook in 30 days, start selling it for $37, and as a PDF file, it's very easy to download as well. So that's essentially what an ebook is. And just to give you an example, I'd written an ebook called How to Become an Advanced Early Riser. Written that within 30 days after emailing my list saying, I'm thinking about writing 10 different ebooks, what one would you like best or first? And it was How to Become an Advanced Early Riser. Sold it for, at the time when I first brought it out, for $26. And it sold 100 copies in the first week. So that's $2,500 for an ebook. And it went on to sell about $20,000 worth. At the end of it, I put the price up to about $37 and kind of juggled with the price because you have to test your price point. And because it was great information and it was really actionable, people could use it. They could get an extra 2 hours in the day from the information I was teaching them in that ebook. So you can make a lot of money from ebooks. And I know somebody that's making over the whole business is kind of ebooks, essentially ebooks. And it's a woman called Jada Selna from Green Juice Smoothies. And she's got her and her partner, essentially what they're selling is ebooks, and they've got $1 million company just from selling ebooks. It's all kind of recipes and things like that at Green Juice Smoothies, and amazing. So you can build a business literally from ebooks. Comment from Cindy Timmers, I'm thinking about to do webinars for creative stuff. That's a great idea as well, Cindy. If you want to do that, I would highly recommend doing that as well. I don't know, do you mean you're going to sell stuff, or what you're going to do with it when you say webinars for creative stuff? But I think webinars could be the way to go for everybody kind of online on business. And then it's a matter of getting the people to the webinars, and that's where Facebook comes in, that's where Instagram comes in, Twitter, your email list and all that comes in as well. From Lorraine Kavici-Blut, can the webinar show a product to sell? Lorraine, what essentially you're doing in a webinar is giving the information that's actually contained within your product. Or are you talking about a physical product? Maybe you're talking about a physical product there. So if it's a physical product, what you might do on a webinar you could promote the benefits of actually using that product. You can showcase exactly what the product does, depending on what the product is. So let me know what the product is, Lorraine. I'd be interested to see what it is, and I could answer you better. From Cindy Timmers, how can you do a webinar? Is there a program for it? There's lots of different programs for doing webinars. There's a couple I'm going to recommend. The first one is probably the priciest, and it's called GoToWebinar. If you go to gotowebinar.com, you can find out more information about that. I wouldn't start with that. What I would maybe do is start with webinarninja.co. So it's webinarninja.co. They've just updated their software, and I've not used it myself, but I've heard really good things about it. The one I use just now is called Webinar Jam, webinarjam.com, and if you go to that site, you'll find out information about it. There's a learning curve to get to know these programs, but as with anything, you're going to have that learning curve anyway. But is it worth it? Definitely. Definitely worth it. So I hope that helps, Cindy. From Love McMahon, how much does the monthly fee cost? I need to start a website for my spa business. To start a website, your monthly fee doesn't have to be that high at all. Basically what you're paying for is hosting. So if you use, say for example, GoDaddy, it might only cost you $5 a month for the hosting if you're doing a WordPress site or something like that from Love. So it won't cost you that much at all to start a website. So I take it you weren't talking about the webinars, you were talking about a website there. Yeah, I need to start a website for my spa business. So you could get WordPress installed with GoDaddy. I think it's $4.99 a month, and it's WordPress dedicated. And then all you need to do is buy a design or install one of the free designs. I would definitely recommend buying a design for your WordPress site from a place called themeforest.net, and I'll put all the links down below for this as well, everything I've mentioned today. And it's not going to be affiliated or anything like that. I'll just give you the links. So I hope that helps, love. From Stephen Webb, I may have missed this as I joined late. What webinar software would you recommend on a budget? On a budget, Stephen, what I would do is use something like webinarninja.co or webinarjam.com. GoToWebinar is great as well. I've just been using that recently as well. I do a webinar kind of every Thursday night for Bloggers Playbook, a program that I've got, and I'm getting used to that as well, but that's a good program to use. But webinarjam.com or webinarninja.co. Hope that helps, Stephen. From Lorraine Emmett, how does a conversion differ with a truly live webinar compared to a streaming or recorded one? Really good question, Lorraine. This is something we've been kind of testing. I've been looking at different things from the likes of Amy Porterfield, who's an expert, and Lewis Howes, who's an expert as well. The best thing to do, if we were going to do this, if we were going to do it properly, and obviously we are going to do it properly, what you're better doing is going live, see what your conversion rate numbers are. Say it was 3%, and then you tweak it and tweak it every week till you get to a good conversion rate, say 8% to 12% or something. And then, and only then, would you get that recording of the best converting webinar and make it what's called an ever webinar. So that means people can sign up throughout the year. They don't have to, it's not going to be live or anything. People can sign up whenever they want, and that is what the ever webinar is, and it's a recording of the best live webinar. So the conversion rates can be hugely different, can be massive. There can be a massive difference. So on a live webinar, obviously you're getting to interact with people. People are feeling your energy. They can see you on camera at the beginning, at the end, doing the Q&As, for example. So they get to know, like, and trust you. But with a recorded webinar, it's not necessarily the case, because normally what they're doing is just seeing kind of slides on the video. They're going through the slides. They get the inflection in your voice. They hear the excitement in your voice, and they get to trust you that way. But they don't have that live interaction that you would on a live kind of webinar. So it's always better doing a live webinar first, getting the best conversion that you can possibly get. And if it takes 2 months, 3 months, doesn't really matter. Just make sure you get the best conversion rates. And I would kind of go for between 8 and 10%, 8 and 12%. Once you get that, then and only then do you do a recorded kind of ever webinar. So I hope that helps, Lorraine. From Shelley Sweeney, a follow-up. How to copyright ebooks or publish. Shelley, what you can do with an ebook, what I would do is self-publish and put it up onto the Kindle. So put it up onto Amazon at KDP. They've got their own kind of publishing platform, and you can put it up onto Amazon using that. And you can copyright just as normal. You can put a copyright notice there as well. And that's all you do. You just kind of put up a copyright notice saying this is my work, don't use it, blah, blah, blah. All the copyright notices, and you can get copies of that online as well. And sell that ebook. You wouldn't be able to sell the ebook if you put it on Amazon Kindle for $37. But you can put it up, say, for $2.99. And the beauty of that, you might think there's a big difference between $37 and $2.99. But the beauty is Amazon are doing a lot of the selling for you. They've got the customers, they've got the platform, they've got the distribution. So a lot of people might be able to get to see your ebook online. And also, if you can refer to your kind of book, your Kindle book online, you can essentially call yourself a published author. Well, not essentially, you can. You're a published author. And you can just say, here's the link, here's the ebook, or here's the book on Kindle. I'm a published author. So it gives you more credibility and more social proof as well. So it's good doing it from that point of view. But you can also sell it just on a website as well, and put the copyright notice in there and sell it on a website as well. So there's a couple of different models for selling ebooks. So I hope that helps, Shelley. From Lorraine Kavici-Blut. Steve, I bought a business a year and a half ago. I own a frame shop. I was wondering on creating a webinar to promote and sell artwork. I have so many wonderful local original artworks by artists. So the product art, I thought I could film them painting and speed up them painting and then showcase their work for sale. That is my product. Oils, pastels, watercolours. Does that make sense? It does make sense, Lorraine. What I would do in that instance on a webinar, would it work on a webinar to show people how to do that? You could do it live. So instead of speeding it up and doing it, you could do videos. What I would suggest is doing videos and trying to make those videos go viral. If you've got kind of beautiful piece of artwork and it's been done by somebody, then you could speed it up. I think that would really work great. And put it on your Facebook page and grow your Facebook page and get traffic to that particular video. That would work amazing, I think, to make it go viral and to get people to know about your business. On a webinar, what I might do is a lesson on painting. So you're teaching people how to paint. And then this is just the ideas off the top of my head. Obviously, I'm not in that game, but that would be a good idea to do that. It could be painting 101. How do you draw faces, for example? And then you can direct people over to your kind of site or your actual shop itself, and then promote it locally. So on Facebook, say for example you're staying in Glasgow, I stay in Glasgow. If I was going to do it locally, I would just promote to people that stayed in and around Glasgow. And you can do that on Facebook. You can target your audience for Facebook. So you can do that, get people to sign up, and it could be a masterclass in drawing, in painting, on watercolours, on oil painting and acrylics, for example. So you could do it that way as well. There's loads of different things you can do. So you have to think about what your readers want. Would they want to see somebody on a webinar just painting something, or would they want to learn about it? Because they're coming into your shop and obviously they're buying paintbrushes, they're buying oil paints, they're buying acrylics, they're buying all the stuff. So obviously they're artists themselves. So teach them what they want. Teach them how to paint, teach them the difference between acrylic painting and oil painting, for example, or the difference between oil painting and watercolour painting as well. So that might help as well. So give them actionable content, and then they'll remember you, and hopefully you give them a link as well, and you could give them a discount. Say, okay, click on this link to get a 20% discount coupon when you come into the shop. If it's a brick and mortar shop you've got. If it's online, just give them a coupon code and then they get a 20% discount just because they stayed till the end of the webinar. So you need to encourage them to stay till the end of the webinar where they're going to get something for it and they're going to get a benefit. So I hope that makes sense, Lorraine. But great question. And you made me think there. Lorraine Kavici-Blut, yes, so helpful. Thank you, Steve. My pleasure. Darlene Dawn, teaching people to paint would make a great webinar as painting in groups bars so popular here in Canada. I think you should do that. So many people want to do their own thing. I think they would want to learn. I think that is good, Darlene. I think that's a good suggestion to do that. Teach people what they want. I'm just going to see if we have any more questions here. I don't think we have. Cindy Timmers, thanks for your answers. My pleasure. Really appreciate it. And Demetrius, thank you for sharing and caring, Mr. Stephen Aitchison. I just shared. Thank you very much, Demetrius. Really appreciate that. Shelley Sweeney, oh, we've answered that one already, so we've got some of the questions. Okay, there, I know I've gone really fast there. There's a lot of information in that, and hopefully you can watch the replay to get more information. And join a free group as well. You can see the link above this video if you're watching it on the newsfeed, or to the side, to that side, above the comments field. Join a free group for Share Your Message group, and that should help you as well. I'm knackered now. Lorraine Kavici, Steve Yarbrow. Thanks very much, Lorraine. Really appreciate that. Okay, I'm going to head just now. Thanks for watching, everybody. I truly appreciate you being here, asking all your questions. It gets me thinking when you ask questions. It really gets me thinking about what I'm doing as an entrepreneur and a business person as well. So thank you very much. Really appreciate you. Have a brilliant day, and namaste. Take care. Bye now.